guys, it's Lexi. I want to make a video about the time that I almost got myself in a mental hospital. I want to start off by saying I have gotten the help that I need. While my life is, yes, still chaos, I'm not on the edge. I'm doing a lot better. I have a really great support system. I know that if you're going through something like that you can also get through it. I've never talked to anyone who pulled themselves out of a dark depression and didn't say, I'm so glad that I waited. I'm so glad that I stayed alive because my life really did get so much better. Sometimes waiting for better just doesn't feel worth it, and that's how I was feeling. I knew my life would get better if I stayed alive. I knew things would make me very happy. I knew I would love my family, that I would meet someone who loves me, or everything would work out. It just wasn't enough. The pain that I was going through was honestly enough for me to just never feel happy again, never feel sad again, just to be done with everything. I've struggled with anxiety and depression for about 6 years now, since I was 15 years old. I've been going to therapy, I've been seeing a psychiatrist, I've gone through multiple psychiatrists. I've always been pretty resistant to medications, like SSRIs for depression. Never really did anything for me. That's super normal. If you feel like your medicine's not working or it's not making you feel good, just stick it out for a couple months, and then if you don't like it, tell them it's not working. Don't just keep taking something and pretending it's okay because you don't want to make someone feel bad or whatever. Personally, I chose to not take SSRIs. There are other treatments. There are supplements. There's a good chance that you're just deficient in something. Something's missing in your diet, or your body's not absorbing it properly, and that's why you're feeling sad. It might not be you at all. Get exercise. Even if you hate working out, just do something with your body. I hate working out. Honestly, I go to Pilates 4 times a month. I don't even work up a sweat. Like, I take the easiest level class of Pilates just to get my body moving, and it feels so relaxing. I think the hardest tip that I have, staying away from social media for a little bit. This one's really tricky for me, especially because my job revolves around social media, but it's played such a toxic role in my life that I've needed to take a step back. And I haven't completely stopped, but I'm not checking my DMs so much. I'm not sitting on my phone anxiously checking all my replies. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. So what do you do when you're feeling sad? Let me know. Okay, so now getting into the video, I want to talk about my experience, kind of getting to the lowest point that I've ever been in my life. Basically, in November, my dog got diagnosed with terminal cancer. She's only 3 years old, and there's nothing that I can do to save her. She's going through chemotherapy, but her life expectancy is about a year or less. Now, my best friend and my boyfriend were helping me take care of her. I was really just spending the money. They would take her to the appointments, and they would feed her the special keto diet. In December, right before Christmas, I remember I was on my plane, and I got in an argument with my best friend, and currently, we are not best friends anymore. I don't have a lot of friends. I really, truly don't, especially out here in LA, the land of acquaintances and fake friends and social media friends. This was like a real friend that I lost. Literally 2 weeks after that, on New Year's Eve, my boyfriend and I had been having some issues, and we broke up again. This was the second time we broke up, and I really took it so hard the second time. I remember the first time I thought I got cheated on, and I took it to social media pretty much, and I said some things publicly that I felt justified in saying. The second time we broke up, he made everything public, and it was like, I guess too much for me to handle, because I would be getting DMs from not only my friends, but just random strangers on the internet who have a say in my life and who's right or who's wrong or what I should do. It was like waking up every morning and getting this sense of panic and doom fall over me as I frantically pick up my phone, and my heart is racing and my stomach is churning, and I had such bad stomach problems. It was horrific. And I would check my phone, and I would update my social media, and I would update it and update it, and I would look at my messages, and I would look at what he was posting, and it just fucking crushed me. Like, even if nothing happened, just the process of checking so frantically and seeing like who's saying what about me now, that I became obsessed with checking, and that fucking ruined me. Like, I was so stressed out, I was throwing up. I take full responsibility for this. You know, me checking and making myself unhealthy when I knew that I was on the edge, and all it probably took was one wrong post or one wrong comment, you know, for me to do something stupid. I was feeling so unstable and so unhappy. I wanted to get consistent help. Like, I didn't want to see a therapist every week or get new medication every month. I didn't have time for that. So I wanted to go into a hospital and get evaluated for psychiatric care so that I would be stuck in a hospital for a couple days or a couple weeks or whatever, and they would hopefully, you know, talk to me every single day and give me lots of attention and make sure that I'm not hurting myself and make sure that I'm getting the medication that's effective and making sure I'm better before I go back into the real world and I'm able to check my phone again. Like, I wanted to be in a different mindset. Little did I know, these hospitals are fucking nuts. And I tried to do my research to make sure that I picked a good one, and I ended up picking UCLA. UCLA is ranked the top hospital in California and number 6 in the nation. Okay, so here's how it went down. I basically called my therapist and I told her, you know, I'm thinking about checking myself into a psychiatric hospital. And she made phone calls for me, which was really helpful. Like, just asking for help. Like, I only ever saw my therapist once a week. I never texted her. I never bothered her. But just how much she was willing to be there for me outside of our appointments, it was like really eye-opening. Like, I do have a real support system. On the way to the hospital, I met with my therapist and we talked for a minute. I signed some release forms for her to speak to people for me so that I wouldn't have to talk to everyone myself. I didn't want to let people know that I was going into a hospital, so she kind of made those phone calls for me, which was like fucking amazing of her. She met me at a Starbucks. So after I talked to my therapist, I headed straight to the hospital. It was really strange. My therapist was explaining to me where to go because she had made phone calls and made sure what I should do previously. But she said to go straight to the ER where, you know, everyone goes. So it's kind of weird. I like walked into the ER by myself and I said, basically, I'm suicidal. Hi. I wasn't met with any kind of judgment. She was very calm. She sat me down, took my vitals, asked me a couple questions. She asked me if I was in danger of hurting myself right now. I was kind of scared to say yes, and truthfully, I wasn't going to hurt myself that day. And I was feeling like I need to get help right now because I can't live another day in this condition. And I wanted someone to take away my fucking phone and give me medicine and check on me and make sure I'm okay until I felt like I can go back into the real world where people are asking me about rent and asking me about my job and you know, just things, little tiny normal things in life that are like kind of stressful were just too much for me. I was kind of scared to tell her like I'm gonna kill myself right now, so I just said no, so that it wasn't like anything too serious. Also, I was checking myself in voluntarily, which generally means you have more say-so over your stay, how long you're in, stuff like that. So I thought she was gonna tell me to sit down in the emergency room and like wait to be called, basically like what would normally happen when you're like in a crisis but not a super crisis, you know, and they make you wait in the waiting room. No, she like took me straight back. She sat me down in a chair in the hallway where like everyone was walking by. She asked like some nurse or something like, hey, can you watch her? I want to, you know, make sure she doesn't hurt herself. I'm like, okay. Look, I am a lot of things. You know, call me crazy, but I'm not gonna hurt myself inside a hospital because I know that it's not gonna work. Like, there are plenty of people there trained to make sure that I don't kill myself or hurt myself or whatever. So it's like, I'm not delusional. I know some people are, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Like, if your mental illness is, you know, like that, or if you really want to die that bad that you would try to do it in a hospital, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying that, like, I did not present myself as someone who would do that. Anyway, better safe than sorry, I guess. So I'm, like, on my phone, I'm, like, freaking out, I'm messaging everyone. They told me they're gonna take away my phone soon, so I was like, oh my god, I wasn't really ready. Like, I wanted to voluntarily give them my phone. Like, I don't do well with authority. Like, even in this situation where I can't trust myself, I'm like, you're taking my phone away? Like, why can't I wanted to just give it to you. I brought myself here voluntarily. Shouldn't I have say over my own treatment? So they took away my phone. They took away everything. They made me like empty my pockets. This is really funny. Like, it's like not funny, but it was like kind of funny. So in my jacket pocket, I didn't think I had anything in my pockets, but I had this fucking stress ball. I had this fucking stress ball that a fan sent me, and it was like the eggplant emoji. So I had an eggplant emoji stress ball in my fucking jacket pocket, so I had to take it out, and I was like, I have this stress ball. And they took away a bag. My therapist had told me to pack a little bag with like toiletries, so I had my birth control, which I knew that I wouldn't be able to have, but they would administer it to me every day if I were to get checked in. I brought like toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, all that kinds of stuff. I brought my phone charger for when I got my phone back. They took it away, and they took my phone, and they took me to this room, and like, oh my god, you guys, I can't even describe how creepy this room was. So there was like a white wall and a green wall, and then like 2 white walls. And there was a door with a bathroom, but it was like this steel door, and you couldn't even get in the bathroom unless somebody let you in the bathroom. And of course in the bathroom there's only like a toilet and a sink. On the wall there was like this giant box, like super up high on the wall, and it had a TV inside the box. It was so weird. There were like chips in the wall, like it looked like someone had thrown something at the wall or something. Like, it was so creepy and run down. And there was nothing in the room except for a hospital bed that was like attached to the ground. It was fucking freaky. Like, I didn't know how long I was gonna be trapped in this fucking room, but I was gonna lose my mind in there. So they gave me like scrubs to put on. So they let me go in the bathroom, and they made me take all my clothes off and put it in a bag. And then I gave the bag to them, and they also made me take a urine sample. So I gave them that, and I put on my scrubs. No underwear, no bra, just socks, scrubs. There was a security guard there, and he told me that a psychiatrist would come as quickly as they could, and until then I had to stay in this room that they locked me in. And he was so kind enough to turn the TV on for me eventually. He put on dirt bike racing. He looked at me and he was like, "How old are you?" And I was like, "I'm 21. And he was like, "Oh, this looks like something you'd be into, haha." And it's like dirt bike racing. I'm like, dirt bike racing? I'm gonna go crazy in this hospital. Like, this hospital is supposed to make you feel better. I was convinced if I stayed in this fucking hospital any longer than I did, I would get crazier. He shuts the door on me. I had to ask for water. They took a really long time to even bring me water. Like, it was scary. Like, I didn't even know if they were gonna take care of me in there. You know, they took away my phone. It's not like I could tell anyone, like, hey, like, this place is fucking whack. Come get me out of here. Like, I had no rights. Like, in hindsight, I understand that they were just making sure that I didn't hurt myself, and they were kind of supervising me to see if I, like, you know, how crazy I was, basically. At some points, I wanted to cry really bad, but I just held it in because I know that when you're in these hospitals, like, if there's any inkling of them that wants to keep you in the hospital, the worst thing that you can do to get yourself stuck in a hospital is to act crazy. So I just held it together, I laid back, I watched some fucking dirt bike racing. I was in this room for like 2.5 hours staring straight at this TV, and there was like this window where the security guard could like supervise me. I wanted to not freak out and to not induce an anxiety attack because I'm trapped in a room watching dirt bike racing for hours. Like, I still don't know a damn thing about dirt bike racing, but I was watching it for what felt like forever because there was no clock. I had no sense of time, no communication with the outside world. Thank God someone finally came in, and it wasn't the psychiatrist, but they said that they had to move me to a different room, and I was like, fucking blessed. So they took me to what looked more like a regular hospital room. There was like a curtain, and then there were like 2 other people, and there was like normal stuff around me. This hospital was like packed. Oh yeah, they didn't let me walk. That's another thing that I have to say. I was like, okay, I'm ready to go to my next room. So I tried to get up, and they were like, no, don't get up. We're gonna wheel you to the next room. And I'm like, I'm not even allowed to walk. Like, they wouldn't let me fucking stand up. So they're wheeling my ass through the hallway. I look fucking crazy, and they have like special scrubs for the people who are there for mental health reasons, so you like know that we're the crazy ones. There were literally people in this well-lit hospital hallway that was loud, and people were being forced to like sleep in the hallways, and I made it very clear, I'm not going to hurt myself right now. And this nice woman said, well, if you're not in danger of hurting yourself right now, then I don't think that the psychiatrist is going to admit you. I kind of like made myself sound better than I was, because I really wanted to get out of there. And my therapist warned me that the ER part is a lot worse than the psychiatric part, but even still, like, I wasn't willing to take the chance, so I kind of just made it sound like I'm better. Just being in this hospital made me feel like I'm gonna come out of here fucking worse than I went in. She said, okay, we'll discharge you, but we're gonna give you some resources to psychiatrists that you can see quickly, and also make sure that you follow up with the hospital because we want to know how you're doing. So this was about 4 hours into my stay. It took like another hour to be discharged. I don't really know why. I don't know, the whole thing was fucking weird. I pussied out of it basically. Maybe there are like some nice psychiatric stays where it feels like a vacation or a resort and it feels relaxing and like this is where you come to get better and you're in charge of your treatment. But this was not it. But while I was in there, I saw people in the hallways like twitching and like trying to fall asleep in a bright ass hallway, and like the person next to me was like this little old Spanish lady. She like was accusing the nurse of stealing her clothes, and the nurse was telling her like, I didn't steal your clothes, your daughter has your clothes. This woman just got out of her hospital bed and started walking down the hallway. She's like, I'm going to the bathroom. The nurse tried to like grab her arm and she like jerked away, and she was like acting kind of aggressive, like she was gonna fight the fucking nurse or something. So they kept saying like, staff assist, and like more and more people kept piling in my room. And I was like, this is like free entertainment, but I was also like kind of scared. So yeah, please don't let this video discourage you from getting help. I just encourage you, if you're depressed or if you're afraid you might ever feel suicidal, maybe research some hospitals, try to check yourself in, try to not make it like an involuntary thing. If you're willing and able to get the help yourself, it should go a lot better for you. But yes, please, please, please don't let this discourage you. There is good help out there. I was like, am I hallucinating in here? Like, I don't know, am I becoming crazy? I was coming up with all these conspiracy theories, like, do they want me to become crazy so that they can trap me in here? Like, I don't know, I was really freaked out. There weren't really any warm, friendly faces. It was kind of just like very robotic. And if I asked too many questions, I felt like I was gonna upset them. I know some people have great experience. I've also heard a lot of really bad stories. I'm interested if you guys have ever been. I'm sure you probably haven't and your life is like great and whatever. But if you can relate, if you've ever been to one, if you've actually been admitted, like, I'm especially interested in hearing about your experience. I'm gonna go now. I'm super happy about how many YouTube videos I've been making lately. Thank you guys for subscribing. Oh my god, I came back and I had so many views and so many subscribers, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Talk to you guys in another video. Stay safe and stay happy. Take care of yourselves. Bye guys.